The house stands silent now, a grim sentinel in the heartland of America. But behind its mundane facade lies a darkness that refuses to fade. It was here, in the quiet town of Villisca, Iowa, that a family's world was shattered in the dead of night. On June 10th, 1912, Josiah and Sarah Moore, their 4 young children and 2 visiting children, were brutally murdered in their beds. The weapon of choice, an axe, wielded with terrifying force. The crime shocked the nation. Who could commit such a heinous act, especially against innocent children? The investigation that followed was a frantic scramble for answers, but the killer, or killers, seemed to vanish into thin air. No motive, no witnesses, no justice. The case went cold, leaving behind a legacy of fear and unanswered questions. The house, once filled with laughter and love, was now shrouded in an eerie silence, a stark reminder of the tragedy that had unfolded within its walls. Imagine the suffocating stillness of that summer night. The Moore family, unsuspecting, slept soundly in their beds. Downstairs, 2 young visitors, sisters Lena and Ina Stillinger, also drifted off to sleep. Outside, evil crept closer, drawn to the house by some unknown force. The killer entered silently, his breath shallow, his heart pounding. One by one, he extinguished the lights, plunging the house into darkness. Then, the horrifying symphony began. The thud of the axe, the muffled cries, the splatter of blood. The killer moved methodically, room to room, leaving no one alive. When the sun rose, it illuminated a scene of unimaginable horror. The community was devastated. The police were baffled. The house, once a symbol of family and security, was now a tomb, forever stained by the blood of the innocent. The investigation into the Villisca Axe murders was a tangled web of speculation and dead ends. Suspects emerged from the shadows, each with their own motives and secrets. Reverend George Kelly, a traveling preacher with a history of mental instability, became a prime suspect. Had his dark side finally consumed him? Then there was Frank Jones, a prominent businessman rumored to have had a bitter feud with Josiah Moore. Had he sought revenge in the most brutal way imaginable? Other names surfaced, whispered in hushed tones: a jealous lover, a disgruntled employee, even a shadowy figure rumored to be a serial killer stalking the Midwest. But despite countless leads and years of investigation, the case remained unsolved. The killer, shrouded in mystery, became a phantom, his identity a chilling question mark that haunted Villisca for decades to come. Years turned into decades, but the Villisca Axe Murder House refused to let go of its tragic past. It stood empty, a decaying monument to a night of unimaginable horror. People would drive by, their gazes drawn to the darkened windows, their imaginations running wild with the stories they had heard. Some claimed to feel a chill run down their spines as they passed by, a sense of dread that settled over them like a shroud. Then came the whispers, stories of strange noises emanating from the house, footsteps creaking on the stairs, children's laughter echoing in the night, the faint thud of an axe. Paranormal investigators flocked to the house, drawn to its dark energy like moths to a flame. They conducted seances, recorded EVPs, and documented cold spots. Their findings were chilling. The house, they claimed, was alive with the spirits of the murdered, their souls forever trapped within its walls. Standing inside the Villisca Axe Murder House, one can't help but feel a sense of unease. The air is heavy, thick with the weight of tragedy. Is it the residual energy of the horrific crime that permeates the very foundation of the house? Or is it something more sinister, something that defies rational explanation? The stories are compelling, objects moving on their own, disembodied voices whispering in the dark, shadowy figures glimpsed in the periphery. But are these truly the spirits of the murdered reaching out from beyond the grave? Or are they simply manifestations of our own fears, fueled by the power of suggestion and the house's gruesome history? The answer, like the identity of the killer, remains elusive, but one thing is certain. The Villisca Axe Murder House continues to captivate and terrify, a stark reminder of the darkness that can lurk in the shadows of even the most ordinary-looking places.